Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Up the Guts podcast. Joining you as always is your host, Trent Dialton. And geez, what another interesting round of footy. I know I say it every week, but there were some close games, there was some smashing, there were some upsets. Teams got their first wins of the season, which is really good to see, which we'll touch on all of that. Just to give you a rundown, if you haven't watched the Up the Guts podcast before, sorry, is that a scratch on my back? Whether you're watching this on YouTube or listening to this via Apple Podcasts or Spotify, and it's your first time listening, what I'll go through, this is the review episode where I'll review the last round of action, this action being round 10 or round 9? Let me just... Yes, that was round, I thought so. That was round 10. So I'll review all the action of round 10, and then I'll rank them on a tier list, which we'll go over in a second. Then I'll also quickly go over the Up the Gut Supercoach competition. Supercoach comp. The Up the Gut Supercoach comp, and see how that went. Bit of a, didn't know what, got a bit twisted on my words there. But as we record this is a Monday, the after, then obviously on the Wednesday night, you will get our preview episode of the round 11 action. But if this is your first time watching, let's go over the ranking. So I rank them, and it's not by how your team's been going. It's purely by how they went this round. So on the ranking system, the top of the list, I got excellent. Next list is contenders, decent, disappointing. Then bottom of the cattle is 5 a.m. St Kilda Beach. Now, without further ado, let's kick off by reviewing the round 10 action by the Thursday night game between Gold Coast and Hawthorn. Let's go. All right, so Gold Coast and Hawthorn, and it is again at TRO Stadium, and again, Gold Coast remain undefeated there in Darwin. The Darwin Suns with a big victory small victory of 8 points, 16-8, 104 to defeating 15-6, 96. Ben Long kicked 4 for the Suns, King, Ainsworth, and took Miller, kicked 2 each. I'm going to move my AirPods away because otherwise I'm just going to fiddle with it and knock around like this. So if there's something there, I'll fiddle with it. So, and then Hawthorn, Hardwick, Chol, and Watson all kicked 3, while Ginnivan kicked the 2. As for disposal-wise, this guy's been an absolute great pickup for the Gold Coast Suns and changed the way they've played. Apologies, guys. Just changed the way that they've played. I'm sure that Collingwood would be disappointed that they got rid of him. I don't know how they didn't see him in the best team. He clearly would be in their best team, provides plenty of run. But nevertheless, he's now the Gold Coast Suns, and he's putting a case forward to have possibly wear an All-Australian jacket at the end of the year, as early on this season as we come up close to the halfway mark. John Noble had 36, 8 inside 50s, 7 rebound 50s, and 1,001 metres gained. So that 1,001 metre gain is so crucial because it means he's not just getting cheap little chip kicks around the back half. He's getting running and carrying and really driving that ball forward, as you can see with the 8 inside 50s. Noah Anderson was also superb with 35 disposals at 83% efficiency. 1 goal, 12 clearances, 5 tackles, 10 inside 50s, 3 goal assists as well. So that's 3 direct goal assists, and also had the 865 metres gain, as I said, run and carry. Rao had 29 at 83%, 9 clearances, 9 tackles. Pretty stock standard for Rao these days. If we go over to the Hawks, Carl Amon had 30 at 80% efficiency, a goal, 11 rebound 50s, and 884 metres gained. This round was a lot of metres. There was a lot of big metres gained from individual players. Newcomb had 29 to go along with a goal, 8 tackles. Now, we mentioned how the Darwin Suns continue. I said, is John Noble making a case for All-Australian early in the season? But another person was Took Miller. 200th game, kicked 2, had 22 disposals, 7 tackles, and 8 clearances. Can we just take a moment to recognise what a star player Took Miller's done? Such a consistent player. He's a 2-time All-Australian, 2021, 2022. In the 2022, he was the Coaches Association champion player. He's a 2-time Gold Coast BNF in 2021, 22. He's a 4-time Marcus Ashcroft medalist, and he was the co-captain from 2022, 2024. We can never underestimate how good Took Miller has been. Two-way running is absolutely elite. Always been an elite two-way runner. A lot of other players have ranked him as one of the hardest people to play on just purely for his two-way running and his work rate. And now this year, what he's added to his kick bat is he can play a bit more. He can play inside, but he can also play at half forward, and he's kicking more goals, something you haven't necessarily seen. That's been so much more damaging. So I just wanted to touch on Took Miller and give him his praise after his 200. Gold Coast Suns came out of the blocks exploding, but it was the wizard, Nick Watson, who lit up the first half, kicking 3 goals. 3 goals to keep the Hawks within it. After that, Will Powell and him had a really good battle in the second half. Will Powell could probably nearly say he got the chocolates in the second half. As for the whole game as a whole, it was pretty even. Hawks, the reason they stayed in the game is because they dominated the third term to take a 3-point lead at three-quarter time, but led by skipper Noah Anderson. The Suns managed to hold off the Hawks. But James Sicily, wasn't he a stepladder for 2 massive marks from Jed Walter and Ben Long? He's still out of form, the skipper. I'd love to know if he's nursing a little niggle or something. But as for the rankings, Darwin Suns, Gold Coast Suns, let's put some respect. They have to go in excellent. And the Hawks can still go in contenders because it's proven to be a hard matchup when you go up against at TRO Stadium against the Gold Coast Suns. So they can definitely go in contenders. Now we move over to Friday night, and it is Sydney v Carlton, and the Swans got the job done here by 16 points, 11-12-78 to 9-8-62. Goal kickers Heaney and Marty and Warner all kicked 2 for the Swans. As for the Blues, Curnow kicked 3, Mackay and Cripps kicked the 2. Heaney was everywhere in the wet, 38 disposals, 2 goals, 5. So could have really had a game where you were like, where was I when this happened? It could have been a generational game. 2 goals, 5, 9 clearances and 10 score elements. Warner was also very good with 32 goals, 2 goals, 6 and 630 metres gained. Chero had 34, 20 of them being contested and 7 tackles. Hewitt had 27, 7 clearances and 6 tackles, while Cripps had 26, 19 contested, 2 goals, 7 clearances and 7 tackles. But Sides, as I mentioned, in the wet conditions, Heaney was everywhere, but Sides had to adjust to the conditions. Plenty of rain hit Sydney during the day, but it did clear up for when the later in the night when the game was about an hour off, and it stayed pretty clear majority for the game, but they still had to adjust to the conditions. Isaac Heaney, we mentioned what a generational game by all means, amazing game, but it could have been a wow game if he could have kicked 38. He could have had 38 and 7. But by all means, he got the Goodzo Lachlan medal for the best on ground. Chad Warner also provided spark for the Swans. We touched on that. Justin McAnuey was good after spending some more time inside. He had 24 disposals. I'm just going to have to pause the podcast right here for a second, guys, just to return a phone call. Sorry. Apologies for that. We're back. So where were we? Had to answer a phone call. But he had a case to answer to his high hit on Jack Silvani, and I think he was very lucky to only get the 1 week suspension for that one. Jack Silvani passed the concussion test for that, but was later subbed off with a groin injury, which is really disappointing considering how good of a season Jack Silvani has since going back and playing that key back. Aaron Francis, another player, suffered a head knock, copying a thigh from teammate Brodie Grundy in a marking contest. And the umpires are under fire for not stopping it kind of like they did last week. So it'll be interesting to see what the fallout will be for that. Angus Sheldrick proved his worth as a starting 22 player. He's been the sub for the last 5 matches. He got his chance to be in the starting team, and did he cash in? He had 21 disposals and 4 clearances, 16 of those coming in the first half. So did quiet down in the second half, maybe run out of steam after being used to playing as the sub and not full game minutes. But 16 in the first half and 21 for the game is something he can hold his head high for. What the hell was that for? Oh, reading my notes and I'm going, what is this referring to? But now I know. What was that out on the full call? Can someone explain that to me whatsoever? It clearly bounced. I think it came off Mitch McGovern. I can't remember because it's Friday night, so long ago. But it got kicked in the player's knee. I think it might have been Mitch McGovern. Hit his knee, then clearly bounced. It was almost like those ones you bump ball in cricket, the ones that are really close to that. Hit like that, bounced up, went out in the full, and they went out of bounds, and they've caught it out in the full. The umpires had another shocking week, and I don't know what to say about them anymore. That was just an absolute shocking call, and there was an even worse one that we'll touch on later regarding out in the full, that type of region of discussion. Joel Marty's also been offered a 3-match suspension for his hit on Jordan Boyd very late in the game. Just didn't need to do it. Like, I don't know what he was thinking, the good old Marty party. We praised him a lot on this podcast before, but it was just something he didn't need to do. Very stupid, and he has to sit out now for 3 matches. The game as a whole, I didn't like. It was a wet game. I guess you can go decent for both. Like, it wasn't anything that I can sit there and go, wow. Now, Collingwood v Adelaide, this was a tight game at the MCG, or Collingwood v Kawana. as the Indigenous round. 11-12-78, defeated 10-8-68. Collingwood getting the job done by 10 points there. Hoskinelli, the only multiple goal scorer for the Pies with 2, which is actually a good thing, which is actually could be seen as quite a good thing, as I just fiddle around my cable here. Quite a good thing that they've shared the goals around there. Fogarty had 4. Why do I have to fiddle? Fogarty had the 4. I'm just going to pull it a little bit closer. Fogarty kicked 4, Saligo 2 as well. As for disposals, Josh Dacos had 29, 11 intercepts. Nick Dacos, 28, 7 clearances. Maynard, 24, is the skipper, and 582 metres gained. As for the Crows, Dawson was huge, 27 a goal and 8 tackles. Laird had 27 off half-back at 85% efficiency and 9 intercepts. Rankin, 26, 16 contested, a goal and 7 inside 50s. But Collingwood backline stood up against the 3 talls without Darcy Moore, and hats off to Billy Frampton. My boy Billy kept Riley Thilthorpe, one of the more informed forwards and damaging and most powerful forwards in the competition at the moment, kept him goalless. I don't think there's been a game where he's been kept goalless so far this season. So hats off to Billy Frampton and the likes of Jeremy Howe, who also had a really good game. Had a big task of going up against Thilthorpe, Fogarty and Walker. Fogarty did get off the chain and kick 4. Understandable. We were already down the extra tall. But hats off to them, especially to Billy Frampton for his job on Riley Thilthorpe. It's really annoying me. For his job on Riley. Let me know in the comments. If you watch this on YouTube. Does this annoy you as much as it annoyed me, or is it just me being trying to be perfect? But yeah, so hats off to them. Next one, Nick Dacos had to deal with a lot of pressure from Alex Neilborn and was good, but he didn't was good without tearing the roof off. He had his 28 and 7 clearances, but he would have liked to have more score involvements. I believe it was only, if I go back, I believe it was only 4 score involvements. If I want to just double check that one. Yeah, so only 4 score involvements, 6 inside 50, so that's all right. But a bit more scoreboard impact, it would have been good. But he's starting to try to find ways to break off the tag. Obviously, it was a sad time during that going into the game. We'd already lost Robert Wall, so sorts out to that. And then also, and obviously Adam Selwood, who his brother Scott Selwood is a part of the coaching at Collingwood. And Adam spent a lot of time at the West Coast Eagles, died just 3 months after his twin brother, Troy Selwood, sadly took his own life. So the moral of the story to this, guys, if you're struggling, please do reach out for help. Please speak. It's never weak to speak. Please speak out. Bobby Hill's goal, it was a moment of brilliance, I thought, there. And then, as I mentioned, with the sad stories, Craig McRae's post-game press conference just showed what a loving and caring person he is and how much he cherishes the people within his 4 walls. So that was really good to see. Collingwood, I'm going to go contenders because I don't think it's quite excellent. Sorry to knock the mood a bit too. And Adelaide were decent at the G. I'll give them decent. I could nearly go contenders, but I'll put him for decent now, and we might reassess at the end. Put Adelaide or Yarra Tapulti v Geelong. And before I even get started this, put Adelaide 5 I'm saying Kilda Beach. 5-9-39, defeated by 17-13, 115 with 76 points. Power Pepper, the only multiple goal seeker with a 2. Cameron kicked 7, 5 in the last quarter, just turned it on. Dempsey 2. Disposal-wise, Rosie 32, Wines 28, 5 clearances, 6 tackles. Burton 26, 85% efficiency and 7 rebound 50s. Bailey Smith, again, continues his form. 30 disposals, 80% efficiency, 7 clearances, 5 tackles, 9 inside 50s, 2 goal assists, 10 score involvements, and 700 metres gained. Another huge game for him. Mark O'Connor was also huge down back. 28 at 96% efficiency, 11 marks, 10 intercepts, and 801 metres gained. I did mention how big of a metres gained week it was. Myers off half, working hard up and down the ground off that high half forward roll. Also 27 at 93% efficiency. I said Geelong smash ball. I mentioned how Jezza lit up the last with 5 goals, which is, I think I turned it over by this point, but then went back to see Jezza kick that many. It was injuries galore in the first half, though. Dangerfield, Jack Bowes, Jason Horne-Francis, and Lockie Jones all limped off with hamstring injuries before halftime. Something in the water down there at the Adelaide Oval. Something in the water down there by the looks of it. Because to have 4 people is just bizarre. And before half-time, not to mention, Josh Sim was also substituted due to a left knee injury in Saturday's afternoon mayhem early in the first quarter. So it was just injuries everywhere. But the one thing I want to touch on is Bailey Smith can win the Brownlow. Bailey Smith can win the Brownlow easily, in my opinion, because what he's getting, he's going to get in the nose of the eyes. Because let's not beat around the bush. Star player, but he wears the white headband. He has the long, luscious blonde hair. So there's that one. He gets clearances, but he also runs and carries with the ball. Runs and carries, often hits the scoreboard, but it's the run and carry that you'll see. He'll get it from a stoppage and just burst away. He's constantly getting meters gained. He uses the ball well inside 450, sets up teammates. I think there's easily an argument that Bailey Smith, he's moved, I know he's in the markets, he's moved to second favourite for the Brownlow. I was surprised that he moved to second favourite because I went to have a look to see what he would be paying, because I was like, Bailey Smith could win the Brownlow. He's polled a fair few bid already, and when he was only paying $5.50 for a second best, I was like, oh, and he's the second favourite. I was like, oh, but I think Bailey Smith can definitely win the Brownlow, and for that performance, Geelong can easily go in the excellent category. Moving to the other game that was on at 4:15 p.m. Before we even started, Giants poor. GOS first Freo or Wally up at NG Stadium, 8-13-61. The Giants defeated by Freo 13-17-95, 34 points. Multiple goal kickers for the Giants. You had Brown and Jones with the 2. Bolton lit it up with 3 goals. Friedrich as well with 3, and a miss kicked the 2. Lockie Ashoff, halfback, at 29, 634 metres gain. Whitfield, 25 at 92% efficiency. Green at 25, a goal and 5 clearances, going at 88%. Sarong was enormous, 36, 8 clearances, 8 score involvements, and 695 metres gain, followed by Brayshaw with 30, 6 tackles, and 7 score involvements. Freo shocked the Giants, and for me, if that's the Freo that we're going to see more often, I'm going to put him in the excellent category. I was very, very impressed with the way they went about it. They moved the ball a lot faster, and it was off the back of a best-on-ground performance by, in my opinion, Shea Bolton. 3 goals, 24 disposals, 8 marks, and 10 score enrollments. Started off the season slow, and he's just starting to reach his best form now. It just takes a while to fit into a new team, and he's really starting to fit into that new team, and it's really good to see. Luke Jackson, after a week of being the talk of the town for the Dockers, if he's going back to Melbourne, if he's staying, even got stopped for an interview while standing next to his coach, which is absolutely outrageous. What the hell did you expect him to say? As the first choice ruck was big for the Dockers. 32 hit-outs, 21 disposals, and 7 clearances. Another one was Finn Callahan, copped a nasty blow to his shoulder close to three-quarter time. Managed to play the match out. Joe West confirmed a minor discoloration to the shoulder, and time on the sidelines is to be confirmed later today, I believe. I haven't seen anything as of yet confirming anything. So there's those rankings for that game. Then Saturday night, let's get the rankings out of the way early. Okay. Excellent for the Dogs, and 5 a.m. St Kilda Beach for Essendon. We won't even bother going on the score, but the Dogs did the job done by 91 points. West kicked 4, Karmas kicked 3, Richards, Bontempelli all kicked 2. Dale had a record breaking. Dale broke the record for the most disposals in a game for a Bulldog and a player at Marvel for 49 disposals, 5 rebound 50s, 6 inside 50s, 11 score rolls, and 1,016 metres gained. 49 disposals and 1,016 metres gained. Just had it on an absolute string. Libba also had 33, going 82%, going on the goal, and 8 clearances. Kennedy, one of the recruits of the year, 31, a goal and 9 score enrollments. Richards continues his form, 27, 2 goals, 5 tackles, 3 goal assists, and 13 score enrollments. Harms had 27. Love our boy Harmsy, former guest of the show. 27 at 82% efficiency and 7 score enrollments. As for the Bombers, Roberts went the way with 29. Redmond, 27. Setterfield, 26. McGrath, 25. And Martin, 25 and a goal. We mentioned that, but we won't talk on much about the game other than the Bailey Darwin is the way the Dogs move the ball. They look just absolutely phenomenal. And this is with Sam Darcy. He'll be available just after the bye. Could be around that round 16 time, which imagine Darcy in that team is absolutely thing. Aaron Norton's really out of form, so that's one that would like to get up a bit, going a bit more, because if Aaron Norton's going, imagine this team then, a couple more goals on the board. But the low light is Cody Waitman confirmed to be out for the season. Waitman underwent surgery for a rare knee issue during the off-season called biparti patella. I don't know how to say it, but it's where you have a false joint in his kneecap, and they've unable to be able to fix it as of yet. So he's had to go back in for surgery, which is not a really good thing to hear, because we know how much of a crucial impact Waitman is on that forward line. Can make things happen out of nothing. Can play small, can fly high, play small crumbs, does everything you want as a small forward. But Artie Jones as well has never done a hamstring in his life. They said, and he's done a hamstring here, and it's a really significant hamstring injury. Will take him out for the rest of the home and away season now, which you don't often hear that about hamstring injuries. It's going to be at least a 3-monther, so it's not good news for him. But then we move on to the Sunday game, and another close game between the two bottom sides. North Melbourne registering their first win of the season. They're on the board. Kangaroo. They are on the board with a 4-point win over the Tigers, 12-16-78 to 11-8-74 for the Tigers. Campbell kicked 3, Laylor, Lynch, and McIntosh all kicked 2. As for the Kangaroos, Zerha was huge with 4, Darling 2, and Larkey 2. I was thinking of Lakey. But Larkey with 2. Tirano had 18 contested and 10 clearances. Hopper 27, 5 tackles. And one that's slowly gaining as he spends a bit more time for the midfield and off a wing is Sam Banks, 25 and 589 metres gained. Davies Uniacke was good with 27, 15 of them contested, a goal, 7 clearances and 7 score onwards. And Caleb Daniel had 25. We mentioned North winning their first game of the season, which was really good to see. But a Tiger, the number 1 draft pick, Sam Lawler, he's starting to build into his season after a disrupted preseason, a disrupted final year in his carnival year with injury. He had 16 disposals and 2 goals and took a really nice pack mark. He's just starting to really build. I'm excited to see what the type of player he can build into as the season progressed and as his career progressed. And it was a fierce battle in the ruck. Tackles galore in the ruck tackles galore across the whole game, but stoppages galore, which meant Cherry had 51 hitouts, 19 disposals, 12 tackles, and 11 clearances. To Nan Curvis, 47 hitouts, so 51 to 47, 15 disposals, and 13 tackles. So Cherry wins the hitouts and disposals. But then Nan Curvis wins the tackle, so it's a real up and under battle there. But as for, you got to put North in excellent for winning their first game of the season, and you got to put Richmond in contenders just purely because they were in it for 4 points. Brisbane versus Melbourne. Now let's put Melbourne in excellent for winning that away from home, and I want to put Brisbane Lions in disappointing. Hear me out. Dropping a game like that at home and letting Melbourne run over them leads me to put them in the disappointing category. It doesn't fit the game as a whole, but they should never have lost that game. They lost it by 11 points in the end. Gardner for the Brisbane Lions kicked a career-high 4 goals. Morris kicked 3. As for Melbourne, doing a job on Harris Andrews as well. Melksham kicked 4. Pickett 2. Disposals wise, Neal had 30 with 6 clearances. Ashcroft 30, 6 clearances. McCluggage 28, a goal. Dunkley had 28. Zorko 27. Zach Bailey, 27, 89% efficiency and a goal. Petrarca had 31, 9 clearances and 2 goal assists, while Langdon had 25 and a goal. As I mentioned, Brisbane should never have lost this game. With Melbourne coming home like a wet storm, kicked 4 goals to 1 in the last quarter to storm home for the victory. Jake Melksham was magnificent in his role on Harris Andrews. He kept Harris Andrews as 10 disposals and 5 possessions while kicking 4 goals himself. It's good to see Keaton Coleman back on the field and looked like he hadn't missed a step. 19 disposals, 6 marks, 6 intercepts, and 8 rebound 50s. So it's good just to see Keaton Coleman back on the park, as we saw what we know what a star player he was in that 2023 season. Missed the whole of the premiership season, but it's good to see him back on the park and firing. It was interesting to see Oliver tag again. He went to Lockie Neal. Well, Lockie Neal did work himself into the game, managed to get 30 disposals in the end. Oliver managed to also have 23 disposals and 7 tackles. It was more of a play-on role at stoppages. But as for that, Melbourne excellent, Brisbane disappointing for the lead they coughed up. West Coast, Wallagit, Marwa v St Kilda, Uriyoki also got their first win on the board. 16-12, 108, defeating 12-8, 80. Allen, Reid, Waterman, Ryan, and Bailey Williams all kicked 2. Higgins tried his best to keep the Saints in the game, but he kicking 5. Wood and Wilson kicked 2 before we even get this started. Eagles, excellent for their first win, and Saints, 5 a.m., St Kilda Beach. Disposals. Brady Hoff, 24 disposals, 1 goal, and 5 tackles. Sinclair had 38, 6 clearances, 11 inside 50s, 7 rebound 50s, and 953 metres gained. McRae had 27, a goal on 8 clearances. Wanganeen Malira, 27, playing a bit more midfield time, also had 5 clearances. Marshall was pretty dominant in the ruck, 27 disposals, 40 hitouts, a goal, 5 clearances. As I mentioned with Brady Hoff's moving to the midfield, I think has been a really good look and a really impressive move by Andrew McQualter, and he kicked his first career goal, so it was really good to see. But I think this has been a really good move after spending his time at halfback, being a really good lockdown defender, and then running off. But now it's showing his running game, building into a midfield role as his second week, I believe, doing this now. And 24 disposals, goal on the goal is a really good performance. I think Harley Reid's really starting to build into the season. This is one of his better games he's played so far. He looks good. I thought 15 disposals, 12 of them contested, and 4 clearances. Now let's go have a look at the Up the Gut Supercoach competition. Then we'll reel all the way back to have a look at, we'll go back over the rankings I did. But let's go have a look at the Up the Gut Supercoach competition. Let's have a look at the high scoring round as we load up the app right now. Oh, that's my game. All right, the highest scoring team was... By the looks of it, no, I thought it was. It was Dylan with Churches of Parish, 2,392. So there's the leader of that one. Winners for the round, we had In It to Win It, Zach, Pint of Guinea, Bailey Sniff, Mavs team, Mac Zerrett, myself, and Sinclair with the wins. Now let's have a look at the ranking. View league, that's wrong. So if we go look at the rankings now, Bailey Sniff still on top. Jamie with undefeated. He's undefeated at the moment on top there. Following him is Mavs team. Then it's got Dad Kisser, Connor in 3rd. Then we got Riley's Wizard in 4th. Newcomb 23, Luke in 5th. Joel's Pint of Guinea in 6th. Myself in 7th. Zach's In It to Win It in 8th. Sinclair, who was on the bottom just a few weeks ago, has been on a hot streak now. Oh, we can see the ladder positions here. Mavs team's up 3 spots. Connor's down 1. Riley's down 1. Newcomb 23's down 1. Pint of Guinea stays there. I stay in my position. Zach stays in his. Sinclair's jumped up 1 spot. Brees was on the bottom not long ago. Now he's gone ahead and won 3 in a row, I believe it is now. Churches of Parish, it moves up 1 spot to 10th. Dell's Domination drops 2 spots to 11th. Max Zerrett, stays in the same spot in 12th. Gitavan and Tonic stays in the same spot, 13th. And Hock Tor Wills stays in the same spot in 14th, only winning the 1 game. There is how the Up the Cut Supercoach competition is looking. Now let's go back and have a look at how I ranked every team's performances in round 10. In the excellent category, I had the Gold Coast Suns, the Geelong Cats, Freo Dockers, Western Bulldogs, North Melbourne, West Coast Eagles, and the Melbourne Demons. Contenders, I got Hawthorn, Collingwood, and Richmond, just purely on their performances. Decent, I got the Swans, Carlton, and the Crows. Disappointing, Brisbane Lions, because they should never have lost their game. And 5am St Kilda Beach. Pretty self-explanatory, these ones, I thought. Port Adelaide, Essendon, maybe a bit harsh on the Giants, but they coughed up 1 at home. And St Kilda. Well, there you have it, guys. There is my wrap-up for the action of round 10 action in the AFL. Thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy this video or you're listening to this on our podcast on Spotify and you enjoy it, make sure you share it off to a mate and hit that leave the like and comment on the video. I believe you can leave a like and comment on the streaming services as well. If you're listening on YouTube, subscribe, notification bell on as well. I'm trying to hit 200 very shortly. If you're listening to this on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, make sure to turn the notification bell on so you don't miss when we upload. Hit that follow button, leave a like, share it to a friend, and remember, please leave a 5-star rating as that's what helps get the show going. Thank you guys for watching and listening. Until next time, I'll see you guys then.